What's up? Simon here with the Card Guys coming at you with another episode of the Cardcast podcast. We got a lot of things to talk about today, but mainly about the extra booster and tournament promo reveals. Once again, any cards we talk about in the video that you would like to purchase, feel free to use our TCG Player affiliate link down below in the description. Just helps us out a little bit, no cost to you. Once again, thank you guys for listening. Let's go ahead and get started on this. We have 5 people today. We have our usual Cam, Neil, Isaiah, and then replacing Craig as our handsome man in Georgia role is the only Namvo, one and only. Welcome to the show, Nam.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right, so like I said, today we're going to be talking about extra booster reveals as well as tournament promos. Championship promos. First, I want to talk about the elephant in the room. That is the yellow Mecha Frieza championship promo.
Card is busted.
Before I go
straight
on,
gas.
Card is just busted. Like, there's no even if answer. It's just busted. It's just like, it's just busted. It's busted.
All right, so what is let's see it negates an attack when you pull. Yeah, this thing is stupid.
keep reading. Keep reading. It gets
Keep
better.
reading it.
Your leader
It
card
keeps
is yellow.
going.
If your leader card is yellow and your opponent has 2 or more energy, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1 for each yellow extra. Okay, so it's a 1 cost.
Yeah. It counts energy and drop.
Okay.
So it's a 1 drop.
When this card is played from your hand, each time your opponent would attack a non-unison card, this card, non-unison
With
card.
a non-unison card, I believe.
Oh, this turn, my bad. They must choose 1 card in active mode and switch it to what?
Yep.
Which counts your leader.
Tap 2.
It counts your battle cards.
The leader
counts
battle
your
card
energy?
in unison. Oh my god.
I mean, if you have a field card, that's an extra tap.
A field card, a unison. Oh, it is gasoline. And then the fact that
Yeah.
you can evolve the 4-drop Clan of Terror on it.
Like, there's literal no downside printed on this card. This
You can
card is
tap
all
2.
upside.
You can tap 2 to play the 4-cost mecha from your hand. On
There's
top
no
of this.
downside.
And
not
it's
only-
fodder for Celzino.
Yeah, it's
It's
not
a
even
3-drop you
you don't,
play for 1.
you don't even need it as the fodder. Like you can do 2 looks in your opponent's hand because you can tap 2 to play the 4-cost mecha on top of it and look in your opponent's hand.
It's like, I'll take that and that and that.
So, with that card reveal, how do we feel about Mecha's position in the meta?
Oh, it shoots right to the top. I'm sorry. It just shoots right to the top.
It already was at the top. It's just going to stay there.
It's definitely
Good.
gonna stay up top.
This is one of those cards where like we were all fine with mecha coming back as where
And
it
then
was,
this.
and then they print this, and it's like, why did y'all just basically ban mecha after Nats, like Nats or webcam Nats?
It's just this card just seems so inherently busted from a design standpoint that it feels like at some point there was a drawback on it, or that they really wanted the new mecha deck to be played.
Just
But
to get rid of it.
Exactly. Like,
Another thing about this is this doesn't have unique or anything like that. So
No.
like
No,
you can
not at
negate
all.
you can negate multiple times, and against like Mecha's only downfall was pretty much just dying to aggro, like because all they have is a whole bunch of extra cards. I mean, outside of Nimbus and stuff, but still.
Like, the only
now
thing that I
imagine
can
this
think...
card with Nimbus.
The only thing that I can think is that they either forgot that U9 Assemble is a card, or they're going to touch it at some point. Because, like, you just get too much value between U9 Assemble, Nimbus, and then this card. Like you have all the options.
Well, they don't want to admit that they screwed up making every deck busted and went on like turn 2, turn 3. So they're just trying to slow down the game.
Yeah, but this, like not in like all right, so with them making this, I really feel like they should just get rid of Celzino. Like,
Sell
they're not-
Xeno. Why
they're-
sell Xeno?
They're never
Oh,
gonna ban an
Yeah.
SCR.
because you got to think
that's
like
too much value.
you got to think like the only thing that's not busted about this card is the fact that it doesn't have deflect. So like in theory, if you're playing against a mecha mirror, which you probably will be, like it's really not as good as it seems. like against a mecha mirror and maybe against blue, but if they're wasting a trunks for a 1 energy card, then you're probably already winning.
It's a 1
I,
mana
I
15 in
I have a
yellow.
question. Didn't they also reveal another like pseudo cold bloodlust in the extra booster too?
Yeah,
Yeah, they did.
it's a 2
Yeah, it's
cost,
another
but you can
mecha
discard 2
card.
to play it.
Basically, yeah, it's a 2 cost that ends up being a 1 cost due to the mecha skill. So they're like, let's give you cold bloodlust, but not actually cold bloodlust.
And it sets up it lets you discard 2 like extra cards from your hand
Mm-hmm.
to play it or something. I'd
But
have
you
to
could just
find
use
it.
Isn't
you
it-
could
isn't
just
it-
use leader skill though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like a frost deadly poison where it enters rested and skills negated, I
So
believe.
I found it. It's called Death Blaster. So if your leader card and all of your energy is mono yellow, and you send 2 yellow extra cards with an energy cost of 1 or more other than this card from your drop area to the warp, the battle card being played is played in rest mode with its skills negated.
So it just has to have cards in drop to warp with.
Yep.
Huh.
They
That's
just need
neat.
well, they just need extra cards in their drop, which they're already gonna
I
have.
mean, yeah.
But
usually it
don't
has the
worry.
cards.
If we get rid of extra cards from the drop, this new card isn't going to cost less.
You know what?
No,
That's it. That's the logic behind it. We're
so,
busted.
so do you guys think we're just going to enter like into a mecha tier 0 format again? Like,
No, I
No.
don't think it's
Not so
No,
Not a tier
I
zero.
think that mecha can still be dismantled by some of the decks in the format. I think that heavy aggro can still beat that deck. And when I mean heavy aggro, I mean decks like Majin Vegeta and Reboot Gohan easily
Yeah.
can just power into the deck, power into its defenses, and just continue to go and
So-
eliminate its
so
resources.
like you're right. There's also like Dark Broly is also another deck that isn't necessarily hindered by this because like in a lot of situations they're tapping out to they don't really conserve their energy like that. They're just swinging at you with 30 Ks. So like they can swing leader, you tap an energy, then they can play the 1-drop, use the 4-star to play a big dude, swing with it, and they don't have anything else to tap. Like it's not saying you have to tap an energy to attack,
You do actually.
but hold
it's
on.
worded like Topo.
It's
It's
where
worded
a
like
cost.
Topo. You do have to.
It makes it a
Hold up.
cost to tap.
When this
tap.
card is played, it says each. Oh,
There it is. Yeah, that's just a look at
I'll
disappointment.
stop.
Well, no. So the thing is that sure, Mecha has this great card, but at the same time, you know,
But that's the issue. It's not just Mecha that has this card. You can just play this in mono yellow.
So
I really want to play it in Shenron.
Sure.
like
Why not?
So so one thing also that I'm like noticing that we haven't talked about is so this is the issue that Bandai just did, and they took this from Yu-Gi-Oh! Where now, like, when you win or you top an event, like, and you get multiples of these cards, pretty much the only people that are going to be winning events for the first few events are people that got multiple of these champ pack cards. Like the first couple events, you might see a few decks here and there that top or do well, but now, like, once a couple people get their hands on like this Mecha Frieza, like, it's just all right. Whoever Mecha won an event, the next person gets them because they bought them. Then 2-3 other people that have a playset of them win an event because they have this.
And it just makes it tougher that we don't have in-person regionals. At least as of yet, we don't. Because I remember, like, when we went to Nats and the champ cards first became available, there were people just running around the table being like, "Yo, you got this promo, you got this promo, you got this promo," right now, right before we turn in deck lists.
Yeah.
Like, we can't
Like
even
this-
do that now.
Like,
Wait, are you telling me that webcam events aren't good and don't have a lot of room for error in regards to the cheating?
That's
Oh,
not
and
what I
now-
said at all. That's
Oh no, then we'll get. Oh, sorry, I skipped over some
what?
points.
We can talk about webcam later. I just
Yeah.
I just Bandai keeps printing these great cards behind tournament promo reveals, and
There's just too many promos.
It
Yeah.
is. I mean, there's one card that I have, and it's because I have like such a sweet spot for it, and I just want this card to be a playset in my collection as fast as possible. I want that Hercule so bad.
the
Yes.
Hercule's really good.
Yeah, that Hercule is really, really
Like,
good.
So-
come on, man.
It's kind of a meme, though. Let's be honest.
No,
Come
no. Neil, hear me out. You can play it with the new Black Negate. So you can
That
play it
is
on their
true.
turn to set it up on turn 3.
And then you win.
And then you can pay 4 and put in either
seven
a
drop.
game
Drop.
board,
The
or
seven drop.
you can also put in Sun Goku and Oob secret rare. It also puts in the secret rare because it puts in a 7-drop or higher.
It's
Yeah.
What?
oh, I'm so happy. I am so happy. Announcer is coming back. I
So-
will die on this hill.
So you have to have 5 or more energy to do the skill.
Don't
but you-
care.
But you can also play the 7-drop announcer promo that lets you play the secret rare anyway.
Exactly. Like, you just dump out your board.
Top
Yeah.
of that,
Chunks counterplay,
Cantrip.
nice. We have deflect. Yeah, and it cantrips when you play it early. And you can buy it back with Power Burst, which the deck's already going to be playing.
Yep.
Oh my
And the
god.
great thing about it is like it costs 1, meaning once you play it on turn 5, you still got your other 4 energy.
So what you're saying is I should keep my announcer cards?
I'm keeping mine. I was tempted to come off them, but I think announcer,
Nope.
like,
I'm
I
never
think
tempted.
announcer might end up being a little bit more of a real deck with that card. We'll just have to see how the meta pans out.
It's gonna pan out to be an announcer's favor.
The
Yeah.
the other ones, what do you guys think of the other promo cards?
The launch one is cute.
The pan is
Hey,
probably the worst one.
yeah, the pan one, is that the one that like your leader can block? Because
Yeah, it's at the end of your turn where your leader card activated a blocker skill, you add a marker to this card and then add 1 green skillless battle card from your drop area to your hand. At the end of your turn, you switch up to one of your leader cards that isn't, or that's either mono green or has heroine to active mode, and it gains blocker until the start of your next turn. And then, that's the +1 skill. Then the -2 is until the end of your opponent's next turn. They can only attack 1 time with battle cards with the energy cost of 4 or less.
interesting.
This card is interesting because you're giving your leader blocker, which most people would just like right off the bat say that this is not good at all. Why would I ever want to block with the leader? I'm just going to take damage. But there are some times, especially against like control decks, where you want to be able to take damage and protect your battle cards. But it's very situational. I'm not sold on it yet, but I can see the applications where it could be good.
So are we talking about Lord Slug? Because now we have a 20k blocker.
Oh,
Well,
because
I mean, if you're, I mean, you have to give your opponent a lot of cards to be 20k. Sure.
They only need 7 or more during their turn. That's a 20k blocker.
I can play a 30k blocker on turn 2.
okay, small brain Shenron player. Okay, but the tournament promo cards are neat. There's obviously one that's significantly better than the rest.
So
Yes,
actually,
the announcer one.
There usually is one.
So actually, the Bergamo actually is really, really good.
I like that card. I do
Me
like
too.
that.
Yeah, it being a 2 cost, you can play it for free with a new leader. If your leader, so when this card is played, you draw a card. So it's a cantrip that has barrier. If your leader card is a U9, for the turn, the next time you play a U9 card from your hand with an energy cost less than or equal to your current energy without using skills, you reduce its energy cost by 1, and you can't activate the activate main of this. So essentially, like, this card is really strong because a lot of the reasons why you couldn't play some of the other guys is because they were like 3 cost and weirdly costed. See, this lets you play that yellow U9 guy for 3 energy. That plays 2 dudes from the deck.
Oh yeah, the trio to
Yeah.
danger that plays them with their skills negated.
Which
So
is
essen-
good.
Yeah, so essentially you get to set up your lock on turn 2.
Combo lock.
Add the field spell in that.
Yeah, that
Now
field spell is really good. Now.
yeah. So there's a lot of yeah, this deck is actually with this promo, it's not that bad.
I think it got new support in the extra booster too. I think it got that blue yellow card.
Yeah,
It
got
did.
the blue yellow one.
That
So
blue
that's
yellow
pretty-
card is gonna help it out a lot.
I mean,
It's
them making it blue yellow kind of didn't matter simply because it's colorless with the new leader. So
that's true.
yeah. So and it has deflect, double strike.
But
man, that card's
it
good.
does let you play Frost Deadly Poison if you that so tickles your fancy. I like those days. But my favorite reveals from the new extra booster, master of segue right here. My favorite reveals from the new extra booster are the Kid Coup and the black reveals that we have gotten. Man,
Hell
those
yeah,
are some cards.
bro. That Android 8, like, man, it almost made me come out of retirement, man.
The
That
Android
like,
8 is so good.
dude, like discard a
Literally, what
4-star
makes
ball.
it good is the fact that it's on attack and not play.
Oh no, not the not the
Not the
Kid
5
Coup.
drop.
No, the Android 8, the 1-drop. So it's activate main. If your leader card is a black Son Goku Childhood, you can choose one 4-star ball in your hand and discard it to play one black battle card from your drop area with an energy cost of 1, 5k power or less, and a different card name from any battle cards you have in play from your drop area.
So we're playing Power Rangers, baby.
Yeah, so you literally, if they kill
No, it's for
Kid
Kid
Q, yeah, so like you can play the Power Ranger engine. You can play the Shroom and Salsa engine with the 1-drop Toa. This lets you play Black Mass Hand from your drop area once they kill it. Like this, the card pool for this card is absolutely like massive.
We could play Kai Blocker.
And then when they kill it, we can play it again.
And
That-
again, and again.
I like
and
this
The
again.
idea.
card's really good. I really like it a lot. And the new
Freeze out.
negate is just really nice too. The black negate.
Oh yeah, that grabs a 1-drop back from your or plays a 1-drop from your drop area for free.
Yeah. That card is
Snap.
I like it.
I'm partial to the
Snap.
new 1-drop Catapesla.
That card is bro.
Is it lets you free use and evolve this turn, right? For the
Yeah.
For
Power
any
Rangers?
of them.
So yeah,
for any
you
of them.
pay 2, and basically for the rest of the turn you can evolve as much as you want.
Yeah, for the Catopistla
As long,
change.
yeah,
So
you
you
have
just
to
go
have 4
straight
energy.
up.
Yeah, is that you have to have 4 energy. You pay 2, and you just go all the way up the chain.
Yep, and it does not have unique either.
And I think when you play it, you get to pick up either a
2 costs or
Catapesla.
more
Yeah,
from your drop
Yeah,
area
like-
back to your hand.
Like this card is really, really like busted on turn 4, only because like it's not just for this card. I think if you would
And it's not
actually,
like turn 4 is not like available anymore. You could still
Right.
get the turn 4.
yeah, and like with the new like Simon was saying, with the new black negate, you can pretty much play your 1-drop from your drop area, so you don't have to waste an energy on your turn. So like you can tap 2 after you played it for free, evolve up, play a 1-drop, search the top 7, evolve up, and just if they kill it or do whatever, you just keep doing it.
It's really good. The extra booster has done, or the evolution booster has done exactly what it said it would, which is bring support to old archetypes, and I'm all for it. I think it was fantastic.
Most def. Can we talk about that secret rare that everybody got mad about?
Ooh, the secret rare
or
is
the
we have
fact
not
that
yet.
or the fact that someone from New Zealand spoiled the entire thing and Bandai was pissed.
Yeah, I was in that group.
The collectors group, right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
one of the collectors market groups. He was trying to sell a seal. Well, he was
Was he selling a box or a case?
he was trying to get rid of a sealed box for SPRs, but I don't think he was actually trying to do it because it's a fake Facebook profile.
Uh.
So he was just showing that he had the box, and then I think the admins might have deleted his post, and
Yep.
then he got PO'd, and he posted up a video of the new secret rare.
So he did that, and he posted a video of how the foiling looks for all the other cards.
Yeah, he posted.
So Bandai found out, and Bandai was pissed. They're like, "We gonna find you."
But see, the thing about it is like he had a fake Facebook profile. So like, I mean, you can't obviously find him out through there. He wasn't actually selling anything, so you can't. Nobody can like go to them and say, yeah, this is his address, this is his real name, etc. And it's technically like, even though he leaked it a day early, this is something that like has always happened because the original release was supposed to be for next weekend.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
so technically he got his product in time. The only people that got pushed back was the US. So
Yeah.
that's unfortunate. I mean, it happens, but eh. I mean, I get why they're pissed off though, because they definitely wanted, it to be a big reveal for them.
Yeah.
Like, but I can see the other side, and coming from stuff like Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon, where it is a little different because we have a OCG side of things, where we know essentially almost 90% or 95% of cards that are coming in a set because the OCG had it, and the only thing we don't know realistically is rarities. So like, I get why players would want to know the secret rare or just certain cards in a set earlier than what they reveal, because it helps us with playtesting. It helps certain people with knowing how much product they want to buy, because a lot of people don't even pre-order. Like, a lot of people don't have the luxury to pre-order product 2 to 3 months ahead of time without knowing what cards are in the set. Like, I personally couldn't drop $1,500, to buy 2 cases, or $1,200 to buy 2 cases, without knowing, is there anything in this set that's worth it for me to get my money back? Just thinking of
Yeah.
a investment standpoint. So like, I get why people want them early and don't mind it, but I somewhat get why people would be upset because they may have waited and they want it to be some grand reveal for Bandai and stuff like that. So I mean, there's arguments on both sides. Both are valid within their own bubble and reasons, but this is the when you send stores and you send people product early, this is the type of stuff that's happening, or that's going to happen, and there's not really anything you can do unless you tell them you cannot open or sell these cards or product until release day, and they send out random massive emails and say, send me a picture of all your products sealed the day before. That's the only way they'll
That's
be
too
able
much
to catch
work, though.
Yeah.
Exactly. So they're realistically never going to be able to catch people that do it, because they can just hide behind the anonymity of the internet.
The other thing, and I'm just going to get back into the actual the release of it, as well as the, spoiler with everything. It kind of softened the blow for Bandai per se, because that SCR it doesn't live up to the hype that it was being brought up as.
I disagree.
I also
So,
disagree.
I
Well,
mean,
talk a little more about your point, and then we can talk about the card itself.
well, no, I'm saying the card itself. I'm saying that, a lot of people were disappointed in the card. A lot of people, where a lot of people objectively looked at it as bad because it wasn't this game-ending boss monster when the card takes people's cards. Like, it's
Yeah.
like the concept of everything behind it is good, and I can agree with that. It's like, sure, I'm able to play a 1-drop extra card that does the ultimate of the Mechie Unison. Sure, like I like the card personally. I think it's definitely cute. I think it definitely can have some playability, but there's a lot of people that didn't like it, and those people are obviously vocal as can be. And when they saw the card was already spoiled and they saw it, they're like, "Oh, this is like the initial floodgates opened." So that when Bandai released their post, it wasn't as filled with the toxic BS that happens when someone doesn't like a secret rare.
And it helped out too that like, it was in a group that not a lot of people were in. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even think that group that it got released in has over like 1,000 members.
Yeah.
and a lot of groups that are Dragon Ball related, they do respect Bandai's want to like keep spoilers away and stuff like that. So a lot of the people that were posting it, their posts were either not getting filtered through, getting deleted. Um, if people were posting comments in the main group, they were getting reported and deleted and stuff like that. So like it being one of those one-off random groups that kind of just I think either just got created or isn't really as popular as um Hyperbolic or Zeno or whatever. That helped that definitely helped out a lot more too. Um
Do you, go ahead.
So then I want to switch gears into going about the actual card itself because that's the obvious main point that we want to get at. You know,
uh
it's what it's a one drop.
So one
You,
drop's still a 7 or less active
yeah,
battle.
activate
active
battle.
battle, which can be crucial depending on the situation. It can't take most of the secret. It can take like what, not a lot of the
Um
secret rares in the game.
I think there's like one or like maybe like one secret rare it can probably take, but no,
However,
yeah, it can't
like
take secret rares.
I mean, at the same time, too, it's a great emergency button if you're getting all in by a battle card or an overrealm or something like that. Something with any like game ending, concept behind it, and then just like yoink, thank you.
Yeah, like outside of like that card, like it pretty much tells your opponent like if you think I'm playing this card, you have to play around it and you can't swing with anything that doesn't have barrier. Which we go back to like those Shugesh Goku kind of days where if you're not attacking me with something that got barrier, you have to respect this card.
The good old
Um,
days.
and it
I
makes
agree.
yeah, like it makes mirror matches, especially like stuff like Mecha. It makes that mirror match like a hell of a lot more scary because like they can be like you can do it during either player's active battle as long as there's 3 or more energy. So now you have to watch what type of cost like you put on like on board. Well, no, because that's a secret rare. It has ultimate. Never
Yeah.
mind. I was going into a whole different Cell Xeno rant, but
Well,
But
no, my go
but
ahead.
no, like yeah,
no, I was just gonna say that like it makes it so that you can't just shotgun on any random battle card. Like you have to be careful of like what you do is it puts your opponent in check. They have to play around it.
there's
The other
also
thing too is that what's the other effect? It's like tap 5
uh,
something.
tap
Uh,
5 play like
5. Remove
okay.
this card from your drop area. Choose any number of heroine cards in your hand. Energy cost of 5 or less. Different names. Energies add up to 10 or less and play them. Then choose up to one of those cards and it gets 5,000 power.
So like honestly, to me, I don't care about that effect.
Most
It's
people
it's
don't.
only it's only
Most people
relevant in the
don't.
heroine deck.
And it
Like
like
sure, and that's going to be a flash of oil in the pan. I think we're all focusing on the fact that it
it can
makes your opponent think.
yeah, like one of the things about this that's really really good is it makes mirror matches like that much more frightening. Like not necessarily the mecha, um, but like the Dark Broly mirror match. So I
Oh,
can steal any of your 6 drops now. Um, like the
you can steal heartfelt plea.
yeah, I can steal a heartfelt plea, or I can steal one of your 6 drops, or I can steal your 1 drop. Use it to grab to use my own 4-star ball to play my own 6 drop, or I can use your 6 drop to evolve into the 7 drop. Or if we're playing a launch mirror match, I can steal your Piccolo or steal your Gogetas.
No, y'all aren't thinking big enough.
What?
You
Oh,
steal
okay.
something that has a leaves the battlefield trigger, and you take their trigger because you stole the card.
Oh, so you're talking about how people stole my 9 drop Lord Slug and
Un-
they got to discard 2 cards from my hand.
Yep. Like it'll be really interesting to see it interact with stuff like that. Um, there's a lot of targets that it can't hit. Like it can't hit the 9-drop Shenron because it only hits 7 or less. But there's plenty of cards that have effects when they leave that you get to just yoink.
Yeah, like if
So
it's
Yeah.
turn 3 and you're swinging with that 4-drop sin, you better hope he doesn't have it.
Yeah, it won't let you steal any SCRs because all the SCRs are cost.
Yeah. because they only reduce cost in hand for the most part.
I'm trying to find that red Broly leader. Oh wait, hold on. I think I found it.
The current one, the Red Broly BR
Yeah.
leader.
What you need?
Okay. I was trying to check and see um when it got to free play a dude off of the if your opponent kills one of your Broly's or
Mhm.
gets
It's
KO'd.
it's oh, got it.
Yeah.
When one
So
of
you
your
can
red Broly BR cards is removed from your battle area by an opponent's skill or KO'd.
uh,
So it'll still trigger.
oops.
Sorry.
If
Yeah,
you
it would
if you
trigger.
time that card right, you can steal their 7-drop on turn 3. If they tap out for it and they can't like they'll play a 4-drop again, but they can't go up the chain and they can't play their secret rare.
I like that.
So that's one of those things that like will probably not happen that often. And it'll probably happen a little bit more often with like launch or
This
um
is
and
this
stuff like
sounds
that. But
so bad, but the first thing I thought of with this card, and it was just popped in my head again, was I was like, oh man, finally, Janemba can have a secret rare.
Jesus Christ.
It can, can't it?
I
Yeah.
think this would be a great card in Janemba.
Yeah,
Oh, it is so
thank
good
you,
in Janemba.
thank you, because
Because
the
you're
deck
not playing the card.
exactly,
Bruh.
exactly. So I don't play the card, so I could just take whatever I want, and it's such a good, easy. I think we're far enough in the video now. An oh shit button to like actually just catch people off guard, and that's the whole thing with Janemba. You're trying to piss them off.
Want to know what's kind of crazy? Um, Man, this card. So, like, let's say hypothetically, we're talking like set 5, set 6 format.
The golden
Your
days.
your opponent goes Kaioken. This can still Kaioken, can it?
Yes, it can.
Oh man, so if they try to like OTK you and you get it off life, you can just snatch their second try,
And the
and
people
then
that
you
said
can
that this
use it.
card didn't end the game. It ends the game when your opponent shotguns on a battle card and you steal it.
No,
Like
it
Yeah,
ends. It
because
ends
they
the
activate
game.
scoop.
Yeah, like
they
this is
activate their scoop button.
so
No, it ends the game when your opponent gets so tilted they end up just smashing their head through the table and knocking unconscious.
So, like, does this card kind of potentially, like I say, we're not gonna see this card get played in like mass numbers, like Kai
No,
or Celzino or something like that. But I still think people need to respect it because all it takes is for you to play a Mira, shotgun your whole hand,
it
and
would.
play a double strike, and then it gets snatched,
I'm so
and then you
happy.
lose.
Snatch the Mira. And
Yeah.
I'm not sure how they're gonna rule it. I think because of the way that
overrealm?
overrealm works, yeah, that you get to keep the overrealm because
So they
Mm.
actually there's 2 sections in the rule book for this because I was in the judge group when they were talking about it. There's one section that talks about battle cards changing battle areas. If you go off of that section, it would look like you keep the battle card, but there's also a section in the rule book for gaining control of cards. And if you gain control of an opponent's battle card, they keep all lingering, not the word lingering, but they keep all activated effects or effects on the card. So if you look at it through that way, the card leaves. So I think realistically, it'll probably be one of those Bondi decisions because there's technically 2 sections in the rule book that cover changing battle areas and one covers gaining control of a battle card. So it might boil down to either the head judge or whatever Bondi says about the card.
okay.
So what you're saying is shark.
Uh I will say you do whatever the head judge says is legal for that event. So if they say it stays, then looks like you just got a mirror permanently on board. But if they say it goes,
Gas.
then you stopped yourself from dying for 1 energy.
Still gas.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
And they can't cooler it. And that's the thing.
Speaking of cooler, And speaking of decks that we haven't really talked a lot about, right? As everyone may realize, we have the webcam event coming up. What, tonight? Well, we'll be
tomorrow.
going on this weekend. Yeah, so tomorrow, where this when this is
Or
being recorded. But then last weekend was the PPG, the final IRL one. And I know we're all men of education here, and we all love statistics.
Of course.
yeah,
And I want everyone to listen to this deck breakdown and just tell me how wide open this format is. Are we ready? So, Dark Broly had 5 decks show up.
How
4
many
top
people are
8.
there? How many?
Five.
40, 41? 41
41.
players?
a
Okay.
little bit over 40. Yeah,
Yeah.
So an eighth of the
Um,
decks got it.
So, Dark Broly, 5 decks. 4 of them topped. Red Broly, 3. King Piccolo, 3. Sin Shenron, 3. Launch, 3. Green Gotenks, 3. Reboot Gohan, 2. Reboot Soul Striker, 2. Mecha Frieza, 2. Green GT Goku Quad Coup, 1. Set 1 Broly, 1. Green Broly, 1. Cooler, 1. Blue Baby, 1. OG Toa, 1. Turtles, 1. Burst Goku, 1. Yellow Gohan, the Kid Icarus, was 1. Invoker,
yeah.
1. Topo, 1. Yamcha, 1.
That when you look like for a small tournament, um, that seems really fine for the most part. Like I'm more or less. I mean, I know Joey won with won. I know they split, in the finals, but Joey won with the Sun Gohan and Danny. My boy
Was
Danny Wynn got second place with Dark Broly, but like you said, 5 Dark Brolys and 4 of them topped is really telling about the deck. Like Dark Broly, Mecha. I don't know about the Red Broly.
So the
What was the
top 8
breakdown for
was
16? Or it
Yeah,
was it 8?
top 8, yeah,
yeah,
top 8 cut.
okay.
4 Dark Broly, 1 Sin Shenron, 1 Joey on the Kid Gohan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kid Gohan, 1 Blue Baby, 1 Reboot Gohan. So out of the 3 Sin Shenrons, 1 topped. Joey topped and was the only Kid Gohan. Only 1 Blue Baby was played, that one topped. And then Reboot Gohan, 2 of them were
1 out of
in
2.
Swiss. 1 out of 2 got it.
So none
That's
Red Broly made it?
no
None of the
Mecha
Red
either.
Broly, none of the
Did any
Mecha.
King Piccolo?
No,
Nah.
no.
And this is for top
And
8 out
then
of 40. Okay.
top 8, then top 8 was top 4, then became 2 Dark Broly and Sin Shenron versus
And then
Kid
King
and
Piccolo and
Gohan.
Goku.
no,
Yeah.
no. So, yeah, that was it, I believe.
Yeah. So like I'm not so actually what's crazy too is no launch top 8 at the event. I mean, obviously we don't know
So launch, believe it or not, by Miguel. I forget. I always butcher his last name, but he's on.
House, whatever.
Yeah,
My
so
boy.
he
Melts
was
up
at
there, yeah.
table 4 against Danny on a winning in, and
Oh,
it went to time. It went to
yep.
turn 3 of time, and Danny was able to outcomplete him by like 10K.
Yeah, that's
That
Dark
game went
Broly for
straight.
you.
No. That was I was watching it. It was a really, really good game. Those are 2 really good players going at it.
Yeah, like Miguel is really, really, really good. I know Danny has been like retired for like a year or a little bit over, like almost like 2 years. He pops in every now and then when Joey can convince him. Uh, but Danny definitely is like one of those players that like if he came back to the game, you'd see him at top tables almost every single event, if not every event. So I'm not surprised. But man, so the Kid Goku I'm upset about simply because it was just blue, yellow, good stuff and not skillless.
Mhm.
Was it
But
really?
yeah, there
Yeah.
was only like
Yes.
4. He only played 4 of
He
the
only played the
vanillas.
Icarus for the draw. And it was
Yeah.
just blue, yellow, good stuff.
Like essentially all it was, I won't say essentially all it was. For the most part, it was we're gonna use the fact that the leader is really good on the backside to just, be able to free play a dude, combo it off to get a free draw. Like a free 5K combo and a free draw every
Yeah.
single turn.
Playing some
Yeah.
beers,
Hey, yeah.
I do
playing
have to say too.
some hits. Goku hits.
Yep. And I think that was the
And
benefit.
the MVP was this Bojack.
Well, that and the fact that like a lot of people when that hit that you pulled up, a lot of people thought like the Raditz was way better just because Red Green has arguably the best arrival cards in the game. But
People
people,
sleeping on this card right here. So much
yeah,
fucking work.
well, people
So
were
good.
sleeping on the hit because like if you look at the hit, it's basically a free arrival. So now he doesn't have to waste any of his blue and yellow cards in one combo, and he doesn't have to waste a super combo. So
What I do gotta say though is that the Sin Shenron that topped wasn't the normal control variant. It was the aggro variant.
it drops like Cell Xeno on like turn 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I mean, the deck
And
just does that, but or with the
Yeah.
new cards. But what do you mean by aggro?
so
No,
the
What
like
makes
point
it aggro?
so instead of playing the Vegeta unison in the main, it plays no negates in the main. It plays
Yeah.
nothing. It plays 2 of the new TP. It plays the normal set 12 stuff that's incredibly good. That Nova Shenron, even though it has unique, still a 1-drop 20k that can tap and bring in another dude, which is very good. And what you want to do in that deck is that you also play the 1-drop Gohan. There's a 1-drop. It's either way. It's a self awakener. You play that, and the goal is just beat face. Go, 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 go,
Yeah.
go. There's no stopping. You're not going, okay, turn 2, I'm gonna play the giant blocker. It's go, no, I'm gonna play the 8-drop that awakens.
Yeah.
And by the way, I've already pitched Haze, and now it's a double strike 30k coming in.
Yeah. Like the game plan for that deck is pretty much like Cameron said, was try to win turn 2. And in most cases, a lot of people when they see Sin Shinron, they don't uh they don't
Mulligan
expect
for defensive cards.
they don't expect to die on turn 2. So they tend to tap out, and if you tap out against that and they open up the cards to do it, they're gonna kill you on turn 2. I think Brian Reed was definitely on the hype train for that when it like all of the Sin
Yep,
Shenron
he
stuff got
was.
announced, and I think he still might be playing the deck.
So that
Um,
deck's gained a lot of notoriety.
yeah,
It's got a lot of notoriety with obviously us because I've talked about it a lot. It's definitely one of the big contenders for me going to Miami. I really want to play it. Gamers and G Sports have really talked about it. And I know
Can't
that
forget
obviously,
about Dylan in Miami, man. He played that
all
on
I'm
stream and showed everyone
Yep.
the way.
Yep.
yeah,
All I'm saying is that the deck can play mid range out of the sideboard now. So you play Release from Evils and the and Nimbus. However, the unison that you play out of the sideboard is no longer Meki. You're playing the Vegeta out of the sideboard for matchups
yeah,
like King Piccolo,
yep. I
And
mean,
Dark
like one of the
Broly.
things,
Dark
yeah,
Broly, Piccolo, Red Broly, all of those decks that are a little bit going taller, you bring in the Vegeta unison. What I think is actually really great in that is that you can play 2 Poutine in the sideboard. So
yeah,
when you're going into the Nova, into the 3-drop TP Shenron, um, you can create like a pseudo lock in the mid range game. That's such a good soft lock.
I,
yeah.
I
No,
just think
right.
that the deck has a lot of options now. It's
Like,
definitely in a really good
You
spot.
still play the 9-drop because that card is still incredibly powerful.
Sure.
yeah,
That's the go-to chain, but between the what is this guy, the Oceanus, and the new Omega, you just get so many options. The Omega self awakens. on top
Yeah.
of copying all the other dragons effects. So it pretty much has it all. If you want dual attack, you get dual attack. If you want double strike, you have double strike. If you want crit, you get crit. And it just
Blocker barrier, blocker
blocker
revenge.
barrier, just whatever you want.
Yeah, I think like the only it has like two bad matchups. Being well, obviously one being Dark Broly because they can snipe they have easy access to snipe the 9-drop and snipe the ball out of the drop area. And uh what was the other deck that my mind blanked out. But they do they have another bad matchup too. My mind blanked out and I can't remember it. Oh, Reboot Gohan. The deck puts way too much pressure on them. Obviously, for reasons where they can't tap out to play a 9-drop blocker. Where in most situations that card would be snapped in half. It's not.
Unless you're me playing against Nam.
How do you feel about that, Nam? You want to tell your experience on that?
So basically we were playing earlier, and Nam in game 1 he just didn't play the Frieza counterplay against my 4-drop. And that was the actual reason why I won, was that I was able to stick the 9-drop.
I had the answer. I didn't.
No, I'm saying, but like if you were to look at the other, if you look at the other two matches, game 2 you just completely blew me out, and then game 3 was very close, but it was because I was able to, you didn't put enough pressures on turn 1 and 2.
So game 3, you actually played a little more aggro, and it put pressure on me because I couldn't use my life as a resource anymore. Because you started attacking with the 9-drops and going into the Omega Shenron.
Well, because I also was keeping an energy open. So, for example, since Shenron playing against Reboot, you can utilize that 4-drop if it sticks as just more pressure. You don't need to necessarily go into the 5-drop. I mean, not 5-drop, the 9-drop. While it's great, it's fine. However, you want to, especially with Reboot, since they're using their life as a resource, attack the battle cards, the little 5Ks that they got, and the plan just starts falling apart.
Yeah. But what else were we going to talk about? We're going to talk about my boy.
I think that was a lot of it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I am gonna bring this up because I was asked to talk about this by a lot of people.
We're talking about my homie Silk and his Bandit Keith headband.
I don't even want to. I'm not even going to target Silk on this one.
If Silk, if you listening, I do love you, but I gotta roast you on your Bandit Keith. Your headband fell off. The sleeves fell out. The cards fell out your sleeves. But like, not even him in general.
No, it's the fact that the webcam events have bred so much toxicity and so much room for error, is what I like to say. Now, someone posted, I forget who it was. Actually, it was with Daylon. Daylon posted it in the Hyperbolic about his distaste for the webcam events, which is fine.
Yeah, and its integrity and all of that.
And its integrity and all that stuff. And I'll repeat exactly what I said. I said I never liked webcam events. That's why I never participated in them. That was my choice. But it was a necessary evil because it's what really saved the game. Unfortunately, we just had to wait through the crap to get through to the very end when stuff could come back IRL. Was it very tough? Yes. Was there a lot of integrity lost? Yes. However, this is something where I do not see it translating into IRL because a lot of the people who go to IRL events are a little more serious, I'd like to say.
And they focused on their
you're going to focus a lot more. Like, for example, even if it was over webcam, Nam and I have gone to IRL events. We'll focus more on the actual game state. Nam, how many times could you hear me counting the cards?
Oh, all right, plenty.
So like So like I'm constantly in my head talking about how many cards you got in hand. I visualize everything. When I was playing in Connecticut, I watched very closely on how they shuffled on everything. And I just this is what we plan. My plan is I also made an idea because when Hernandez went live, he mentioned something actually very important that I want to talk about was that, there's a huge issue that him and I agreed on is that you're not allowed to write down notes during the middle of a game. And that I think is a huge issue for this because that can actually stop a lot of problems that we see. If you write down, and I've done it before in Magic, you write down that your opponent has 7 cards in hand. Okay, they draw. They have 8. Drop a land. Now they have 7. Play a card. Now they have 6. Like, you see, now you can track it. Granted, it's a little more, but if you're willing to do that work, it pays off exponentially. And then what about cards that make you look at your opponent's hand? The Mecha Frieza, Broly Crown Retribution, stuff like that. I want to remember that stuff, and I want to make sure I can keep notes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, is that an issue that I see going further once webcam events start flying away? No. But unfortunately, we're going to have to deal with it if Bandai wants to do these Worlds events. And I do not see these events ending well because there's such a lack of integrity in the speculation that whoever's going to be playing in it is going to cheat.
I kind of don't agree with that sentiment at all. I feel like cheaters are going to cheat. They're going to try to cheat whether it's webcam or it's in real life. Like, it's just always going to happen. Just because it's a webcam event doesn't mean that there's be more cheaters. And for your comments about events being more serious in real life, we're playing Dragon Ball. Like, there's always going to be that one guy who's going to play Zamasu just because he likes Zamasu. Like, you're just always going to see that at events, especially with the breakdown that you had in the real life. Like, everyone is just, some people are just going to play exactly what they want, and they're just there to have fun. Obviously the good players are going to rise to the top, and that's always going to happen. But I mean,
What I
the only-
will
the on-
say though,
Go ahead.
and
Ken.
because I can agree on, I can see everyone's viewpoints. What it did teach people, because I can see this as a positive teaching moment, is how cheaters cheat.
Sure.
What are the sleight of hand techniques?
Mhm.
Because to be fair, if you're watching your opponent's hands and they're constantly drifting towards the edge of the table, they're constantly like, there's always these telltale signs. I have to go back and with fettuccine Alfredo and
Linguini.
talk about ravioli, give me the formuoli. And playing, I think there was like speculation that he was the one that played the 5-drop off that planet Vampa, and then
Yeah.
the other one was what was the other issue that he did?
He was like drawing multiple cards off something.
Yeah, and then he was doing the sleight of hand technique with the shuffling. Like,
Stacking.
Yeah.
like
Oh, he was
like,
stacking for the
he was
trunks.
stacking.
Yeah.
So like, if we're to look at cards like this, I know it's not the best lighting in the world, but like, you can easily just shuffle and keep one card at the top.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I, when I made the post, I told people, like, look, after your opponent shuffles, tell them how many cards to cut, or tell them to cut in half. Like, the issue, one of the few or many issues with webcam is comfortability. Like, when we're actually in an IRL event, and this is what I don't mean, like, when take it seriously, like people that play Zamasu and stuff like that, they're obviously there to have fun. But you're more in an IRL event, you're more focused because you're in that setting versus like I'm at my house,
But that's what I mean by saying take it
Yeah.
seriously. I mean,
Yeah.
I can rephrase what I meant, because sure, I'm not going to bash someone for playing, Zamasu or trying to play set 1 Broly because that's their favorite character and they want to play it. But when you take it more seriously, you're more attentive, you're more focused in an IRL. You're not in a setting like your home where you're more relaxed, where you're going to
Yeah.
let more mistakes fly away from you.
And another thing is like, and to bounce off what Neil said, is cheaters were definitely gonna cheat regardless. I think we're not seeing more cheating. We're just seeing a
It's easier to
different.
catch.
Yeah, it's easier to catch, like, to an extent on like video recordings and stuff like that. Like, because there's certain stuff, like if my hand is here and then all of a sudden it goes up here or down here, then obviously something funny could be going on. But cheaters themselves, um, the people that would cheat, people that wouldn't cheat or would hesitate in real life, because even though your opponent's next to you or your opponent is across from you, you still have 2 people sitting on the side of you that may or may not look you have somebody that's right in front of you that can see a little bit more and pay attention a little bit more than what they would on a screen. Because, like I said, you're at your home, there's distractions, dogs, pets, kids, whatever, noises, so you might be somewhat distracted. Um, but cheaters, people that would normally cheat would just cheat more in a webcam event. Not saying that there is more or less cheating because we don't have realistically stats for that, and not everybody is recording their matches through webcams and stuff like that. But
It's
they
just
had to
highly
adapt.
unfortunate too.
Yeah, like
And I mean, we can go back and forth and explain that it's either this, it's cheating, it's less cheating, the same amount of cheating, it's more cheating, and this. The unfortunate thing is that cheaters are going to cheat. They're going to find a way to do it. They're getting caught easier because we can go back and look at it, as Simon says.
yeah.
And what I don't see is that I don't see the logic behind bashing it incredibly hard
Right.
when it's a necessary evil.
And it's
You
like
know,
the
it's
best that we have, like
exactly, and it was needed to keep the game afloat. PPG did exactly what they had to do. They made
right.
money, they held IRL events, they held webcam events, and they're holding
hmm
the Invitational in a week. However, Bandai obviously realized this is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to keep people involved. This is how it was going to do. The positive of it is that it offered more people who couldn't go out to play in events. So you did have more of a casual fan base start playing and coming
Yeah.
into the limelight a little more. I think a lot of people did get swayed away from it after the initial pushback from the community.
hmm
I think that, like, I can say, yeah, I don't like webcam events, but I just didn't participate in them.
Like
That's it.
I think me and Neil are the only ones here that have done one currently.
Nam
Um
is in the one this weekend.
I
yeah,
am
he's
in
gonna
this
be in
one.
the one this weekend.
I haven't played in one, so
Yeah, from my own experience, I can say when your opponent has a clear setup with good, like, it doesn't have to be perfect lighting, but with relatively good lighting, you can see their field, you can see their hands not going down, going up all over the place and stuff like that. It's actually not as terrible as it would be in most other situations that, the people are focused on
Mhm.
so much of the negatives.
I definitely
Where
think there's a minimum that needs to be met.
yeah,
A
like
standard.
A
I
standard,
don't want
yes.
to like say, if you can't afford a webcam, you can't play, or if you can't afford this type of setup, you can't play, because you don't want to, with all this stuff going on, you don't want to say if you can't pay this X amount, you can't play to build your setup.
You don't want to gatekeep.
Yeah, you don't want to gatekeep people out of being able to play in a webcam event, but there does need to be some like baseline. This is the minimum that needs to happen, and this is the minimum of what needs to be there for you to be able to play. And I think um judges and I think TOs, when it comes to like player meetings, should set everybody up in the table, however many people there are, how they would normally do when they take up deck lists and stuff, the player meetings. Um, you set everybody up, and then you have X amount of judges just go through each and every table and say, hey, can you fix your webcam? Can you fix your lighting? If not, unfortunately, we're gonna have to drop you from the tournament.
Tell you
Go to
what,
this table.
I think
Look,
that's fair.
like,
yeah,
you
I
need
think
to
that's
open up more space,
a great idea.
like, because if you look down at my table, uh, like, if my webcam just looks like this, I obviously can't fit like my whole board and stuff like that on there. But if I kind of ease it down a little more, move my keyboard, you can literally see a lot. Like, this is a
Yeah.
lot of area where I can fit a deck here. I can fit my board, my energy, my hand can stay right here. And I even had an opponent who had to get up and go do something. Somebody was knocking at his door. He was like, look, I'm gonna drop my hand. My hand's gonna be right here. He came back, he showed me his hands. There was nothing, up his sleeves and all this other stuff. And he, came back and we played like normal. Like, it's just, there's certain stuff that I think that judges
Tell
and
you what,
TOs and players can do.
I'm not gonna play against a guy who has his phone on the dresser and he's playing on the ground. I'm not playing against that guy. I'm calling the judge.
No, like, and that's what people need to do too. Like, I get
Yeah.
everybody wants to be respectful and doesn't want to be that person to call somebody out over a webcam situation or a view because you don't know that person's financial struggles or just,
Yeah.
what's going on personally and why they have to have that setup. But you need to also protect yourself from the potential of cheating, not calling your opponent a cheater, but you don't even want that to be uh you don't even want your
Possibility.
opponent to have the possibility or have them even have an option to accidentally cheat, you know. And streamers, look, y'all gotta like we know about the like I'm not calling Silk out in general, but a lot of people from that event or that would watch the playback, they saw Silk's hand kind of go out of view. uh his hands actually weren't out of view. I'm not saying he didn't do what he did. We all know everything that happened, but I think the streamers themselves, not at their own fault, they they kind of unfortunately made that look a lot worse than what it was, like in terms of the hand thing,
Mhm.
because their setup cut off like the top 20% of Silk's screen, so it looks like his hand went off and he was doing a whole bunch of stuff when the streamers and his opponent could see his hand. So when we talk about stuff like that, that goes back to being at home and you being comfortable and not paying attention. Where if any of the streamers, whether you agree that they should intervene or not, that's besides the point. If you look at the streamers or if you look at his opponent, the fact that his opponent and the streamers both said we could see his hand and they themselves didn't catch him looking through his drop and grabbing cards or whatever he did, and putting them to his hand to combo more, that's also on his opponent as well. Like, you gotta pay attention. If you get cheated, you're almost to a smaller degree as much as fault as a person because you need to be able to focus and pay attention and not get cheated, out of stuff like that. Because if anybody was paying attention, they would have caught it. And that's just being honest.
That's the
I
thing with
mean,
streamers
Yeah,
yeah.
and
or
I'm
with
and
the
like I said,
casters
yeah,
too.
and I'm not saying that it was justified or anything like that. I'm just saying you gotta you gotta be able to, hold yourself accountable too, because if you were paying attention more, then you would have had a higher chance of being able to catch it versus it just kind of going unchecked and then turning into a big thing. It would have been able to get caught. People wouldn't have been witch hunted and all of that type of stuff, and webcam events wouldn't be as scrutinized as they
Yeah, it
are.
wouldn't look as bad as they do.
Yeah. Or if you think you're getting cheated, download OBS if you're on an actual computer and a webcam. Download OBS, watch back the playthrough. If you see anything funny, then show it to a judge. Hey, I was recording our match. I see he was doing this. That's kind of funny. His hands were going off of the screen. Because the last thing you need is a he said, she said, and you don't have proof. Because if you call a judge and say his hands keep going off the screen, and I say that they aren't, then you put a judge in a really weird predicament, especially during webcam events, because you don't have proof that my hands have gone off. So like
Yeah.
something as simple as that, if you can do it, can help you out also. So that's just, my 2 cents or 30 cents.
Well, no. It
Mhm.
makes sense. It definitely makes sense. Um, I think that the topic has been just beaten like beaten to
I
death.
think, and
We're at a point now where if it's been accepted,
yeah,
the people who have voiced their opinions have voiced it. We're just gonna go from that as we can just kind of look at it from there.
yeah,
I think that moving forward, however, just have integrity.
yeah,
It's hard because some people are gonna want to win more than having integrity, but that's just
hmm
it. You're gonna always have it. And granted, I'm more excited for PPG Miami for the Invitational rather than
Mhm.
the next webcam event. And as
Cool.
someone that works every other weekend and works second shift, it's kind of difficult for me to do the webcam events, which is why I just, again, if I don't like it, I just don't do it. That's just very simple.
yeah. Like,
I do wish Nam a lot of good luck and hope he doesn't, O2 drop and
yeah, because
suck.
He's playing absolute cancer. I cannot
No,
beat.
look, he's playing a deck that literally plays itself.
You're right, and I can't like
He's
Nom
playing
is
he's
my
playing he's
absolute
playing Burr
kryptonite,
deck. Reboot, but go on, go Burr. Like that's it.
bro. He
But
is
I've always
literally
played this type of deck.
he is literally my
He does.
kryptonite. I cannot beat Nom like at
I'll tell you the secret. I'll tell you the secret. Have him misplay, then you win.
see Nom brings out his I don't know like Asian powers and he
It's
just
that Fu Manchu he's trying to grow.
bro, if you ever seen like Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds or whatever Yu-Gi-Oh series it
Yo,
was,
he's got
man,
that Destiny draw on lock.
bro, he draws
Yo.
and then the card like glows gold and it changes to what he needs at the time.
Like,
Like
not even gonna look at the card, just slam it on the board.
It's the heart of
Oh,
the cards, man.
you mean like game 2 where you have no cards in hand, swing leader, draw, it's the super combo?
Yeah,
Into a
that's
super
all you
combo?
need, right off the
Into a
top,
super combo?
that is
Look.
exactly how Nom plays against me, and ooh man, I just want to shuriken in his ass up.
Well, look, put it this way. I think this is actually had a really good episode. It's been very informative. Granted,
Yeah.
it's not been as like back and forth because we do not have a lot of content per se because we have PPG coming up, which, by the way, I am trying to work my hardest. We are trying to work our hardest to do a podcast in Miami, live at the event.
Live from Miami. It's
Live
the
from New York.
Cardcast.
It's Saturday. But like I want to try it. I want to do it. I really hope I can. If not, we'll record it and have it go live, obviously on YouTube. But I want to record it live on YouTube, stream it, and I want to bring on as many people as I can see. Daylon and Marquise fighting in the room. I want it on. Like it's like you got Hernandez and the Hill Twins. I want them on. Machado and Kyle come out of nowhere. I want them on. Like
To get Hernandez on, you got to make it worth his while.
We gotta say it.
but
Got him.
but I'm being serious. Like this is just great. I want to get FOE. I want to get Eddie and Daylon on the same table. Like I'm talking about like I want this place to be like Jerry. Like that's the type of energy I want.
So hear me out. Is this gonna end up being like a like one of the old mailman videos back in the day at the regionals where he goes around?
Yes. So
That would be dope.
unfortunately, Frank isn't going to be able to make it, and we
Yeah.
understand that his situation.
Yeah.
And honestly, Frank, if you watch this and get to the very end of this part, I wish you and your family all the best. I know this is a very difficult time for you. We all understand
all do,
you
yep.
are
Sure.
a great part of this community. You are obviously one of the more notable people. We wish you nothing but the best. I told you personally, if you need anything, you can reach out to me, and you have our support. You have our care and
Yeah.
everything that you like. It's just a really, really bad situation to go through, but it's a part of life. But we're here to help as much as we can. And we got a dog. But you know what,
yeah, no,
Mailman,
my
this one goes
best.
out to you. Mailman,
Oh, yeah,
this one
for
goes
sure,
out to
man.
you.
Like even though we all kind of roast each other and
Some
we all
people
have
deserve it.
yeah we have our own little mini competitive drama and stuff like that. It really ain't this too serious. I think we all can at some point show compassion and understand we can be human at some point. It's not always about the competition and ooh but for sure,
Just let
man, like,
everyone know that's the dog
I'm so
and not
sorry.
Neil's girl.
I'm so sorry.
no, you're good, man. The dog is a part of the crew now. That's the Nimbus.
Look, but like, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a fun event. Like, like day 2 is gonna be amazing because, granted, day one they have to dedicate for the stream and everything. I get that. Day 2, oh, that's gonna be just money. That's gonna be great. I'm gonna have like Daylon and Eddie sit across from each other, and I'll be like, all right, 3, 2, 1, go! Like
Squash the beef.
Yes, we're gonna have a segment called "Squash That Beef," and we're just
Nah,
gonna have people come on and roast each other.
The real squash that beef is gonna be with Mr. Token himself. Good old,
Oh,
good old
yes.
no show event Donald.
It'll be a good event. It'll be a
It's
good
gonna be
event.
fun.
I'm
It's gonna
sad
be
I
fun,
won't
and I'm
be
actually
there.
very, very excited.
I wish I
It's
could.
gonna be a
So,
blast.
We got some. We unfortunately got some stuff going on too. So nothing bad, but can't show up for this event unfortunately.
Simon,
Yeah.
you know the
So
deal. Wrap this bitch up.
yeah. Thank you guys for hanging around. It's a decent sized podcast. Not our biggest, not our smallest. Just like me. We've been here for a while.
Wow. This has been a blast. I love you guys.
It's been fun.
It's Goldilocks and the Three Simons, just right.
Just right. As always, thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate the support. We've had a lot of people talk about our videos on the Facebook groups
I
and
can't wait to
been
plug this.
commenting. It's been fun. It's been
Oh,
fun
this is
doing
awesome.
this podcast.
This I've heard like apparently we've gained so much traction. I'm so ready.
Yeah.
The podcast wouldn't be where we are though without you guys for watching. So thank you for watching. Once again, affiliate link down below. Buy your Mecha Frieza promos as soon as they drop. Get your playset.
Sell me your
pop
announcer
events.
ones for like $1.
Yeah. So from all of us here, the card guys from the Cardcast, thank you for watching. Have a good night, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.